was to destroy East Coast rap. And what I mean by that, and I know people gonna like, yo, Gene is out of his mind and everything like that. Check this out, bro.
I don't think Ice Cube knows who the puppeteers are. He understands that there are puppeteers, and he can tell from his own experience.
Ice Cube has never been the type to bite his tongue. But when he hit the Breakfast Club and let loose what some are calling the boldest bombshell of his entire career, even the most seasoned listeners froze in shock. For years, people believed the so-called gatekeepers of the music game were just faceless suits hiding behind curtains, pulling strings in silence. But Cube flipped the script. He dropped names, and suddenly those shadows had faces. Jay-Z and Diddy. According to him, these two aren't just building their own empires. They're the ones locking and unlocking the doors to the entire industry. And the cost to get inside? It ain't money. It ain't record sales. Nah, Cube says it's something way darker. He painted a picture of an industry that doesn't just take your talent, it drains your soul, chews people up from the inside, and spits out the remains once the party's over.
I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all gotta deal with.
Cube painted the game as more than just a system. It's a full-on private club where the velvet rope is guarded by Jay and Diddy, deciding who gets fed and who gets left starving. He wasn't ranting, he was calculated, each word sharp, each pause heavy with meaning. Step out of line and best believe you'll feel it. Sometimes they just watch, sometimes they box you in, and if you push too far, they'll slam the gate shut right in your face. And what happens if you dare to climb that gate without a pass? You already know. It gets ugly real quick. People outside the bubble love to call these stories exaggerated, but the pattern is impossible to ignore. Artists start rising, glowing too bright, and then, just like Icarus, their careers burn out in midair. Meanwhile, the ones who play along don't just win, they get crowned untouchable, like gods in the industry. But Cube didn't stop there. He teased something darker. Nights that don't end with handshakes, favors that can't be repaid with a simple thank you, secrets hoarded like trophies, used as insurance to keep people chained forever. Forget contracts. When someone's holding your reputation hostage, the leash is tighter than any legal deal. And those whispers of rituals? Cube made it clear. This ain't about candles or spooky ceremonies. This is power at its most dangerous. This isn't just business. It's power games designed to trap people with guilt, silence, and that chilling message. If you ever speak, we own you. The darkest whispers say the so-called initiation ain't a one-time price. It's a never-ending bill. And if you miss a payment, the collection comes in the cruelest way possible. Some insiders claim the scariest part isn't being cut off. It's watching how fast they can torch everything you built. Careers destroyed sounds almost soft compared to what really happens. Some call it the industry's invisible guillotine, slicing down anyone who dares step out of line. No wonder people start tossing around the word Illuminati. It's the oldest go-to theory when things feel way too sinister to just call bad luck. Even Cube dances on that line, sometimes cracking a laugh when asked if the Illuminati runs it all. But the joke doesn't hit when the music fades and you see who's left standing. Cube even said, they don't come up to me and say, hey, I'm Illuminati. And maybe they don't need to. Maybe the proof is right there, in their power, in the circles they control, in who they decide gets a seat in the room.
Potential. Jay was more quiet. But I mean, I learned that Jay was being quiet because he was taking notes. He was taking notes, observing everything, taking it all in. Because, sometimes you're around and you're watching to see things to do. But some people are around.
At the center of all these whispers sit Jay-Z and Diddy. Their bond has survived rivals, lawsuits, and cultural waves that could have drowned anyone else. Somehow, they didn't just stay afloat. They ruled through it all. That's where Beyonce enters the rumor mill. For some, it feels almost untouchable to even ask. But fans wonder, Was her rise as smooth as it looked, or was it guided by hidden hands? Jay-Z's role in her career is legendary. But what if it wasn't just mentorship? What if marrying into the throne also meant signing a pact with terms the world will never see? Did Beyonce's flawless climb from Destiny's Child to global queen come with a shadow cost? That question haunts fans every time they see how perfectly her star rose while Jay-Z's empire locked into place. Some say it's timing, some say it's fate. Others whisper, it's something much darker. Whispers swirl about secret deals struck at parties where phones are banned and NDAs stack higher than a Brooklyn phone book. And then comes the big question. Was Beyonce's link with Diddy just casual industry ties or another quiet chess move in the power game? Early in her solo run before Crazy in Love blew up, she worked with him, and ever since, fans have speculated what really went down. And let's not forget the producers who had a golden chance, only to vanish into obscurity, now DJing weddings in Jersey, whispering about how they crossed the wrong people. Coincidence? Or proof of a system that buries anyone who dares to talk?
I think that they don't want, if they was in any of those freak-off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public to make up.
The shadows turn pitch black when the story shifts to Tupac Shakur. This is where paranoia twists into raw fear. Every year new whispers pop up, but insiders now swear Pac didn't just die in Vegas because of random chaos or a coast-to-coast feud. The theory? He left behind a final tape, a lost recording where he tried to expose the real bosses pulling the strings, Jay-Z, Diddy, and their alleged Illuminati overlord. Some claim that tape was buried by people close to him, maybe even seized by the gatekeepers themselves. Others insist it's locked in a vault, waiting for the day it finally leaks. And if that day comes, it could explain not only why Shakur vanished, but why everyone in the game still whispers his name like it's forbidden. The story goes, Pac saw the power structure sharper than anyone, but realized too late that crossing certain players isn't just career suicide. It's life or death. The Vegas shooting? To some, it was street beef. To others, it was a silencing, a brutal reminder to everyone else, stay in line. Even Suge Knight has dropped strange hints from prison. Maybe he's chasing attention, or maybe he knows some truths are too dangerous to say out loud.
It's hard to actually figure out what's what, but it's becoming clearer. It's becoming clearer and clearer,
And then come the details that just won't die. The missing witnesses, the erased tapes, the suspicious autopsy notes. Why was the only other person in Pac's car barely touched while he was gunned down? Why did the shooter vanish like a ghost while Vegas police acted like it was just another night? And why did Pac's own circle suddenly lock up, cutting off journalists, changing stories, making backroom deals? The deeper you dig, the less random it looks. Every time someone whispers Pac's alive in Cuba, what they're really saying is, the truth was too dangerous to survive. And in the middle of it all, Jay-Z and Diddy. They've stayed on script, denying everything, lawyering up, and pushing forward like the rumors are nothing but background noise on their road to billions. Even now, with lawsuits stacking and Diddy drowning in fresh allegations under courtroom spotlights, their grip on the industry doesn't loosen one bit. Illuminati or not, the club is real, and the doors are tighter than ever. The only question is, who's sitting at the top? Who's locked outside? And who's gonna pay the ultimate price when the bill finally comes due?
3 law firms on retainer. I don't know how much money is coming in, but I know that a lot of money is going out every single month.
Behind the polished speeches and million-dollar photo ops, there's another Hollywood, one almost nobody sees, and even fewer dare to expose. This is the dark corner Ice Cube hinted at with his warning, the side hidden behind mansion gates and unmarked hotel doors. Here, the real price of fame gets decided. Late-night meetings where every window is covered, every phone locked away. Former handlers and bodyguards have whispered about these nights for years, describing them as nothing less than psychological warfare. Initiations filled with twisted dares and humiliations meant to break a person down before loyalty is bought. The playbook is brutal. They don't just collect secrets, they take full control. We've all heard the stories. Phones snatched at the door, NDAs stacked thicker than IRS audits, and cameras lined up on tripods to capture the ugliest moments. Everyone in the room may laugh, but nobody's really joking, because that's how leverage is built and why almost no one escapes with clean hands.
An indictment, that's someone like a blackmail. He was blackmailing people to be in the freak-offs. So that's federal. That could be that's a federal charge. He can't blackmail people to say, yo, listen here, you did it once and you're gonna do it again. That ain't gonna make it with the government or nobody.
Some whisper the blackmail files in Hollywood would make even the FBI blush. The stories always sound the same. New talent lured to secret parties with rules nobody explains until it's already too late. First, a drink that burns straight to your gut. Then a command barked from some billionaire in the corner. Maybe you obey, maybe you freeze. But either way, the cameras are always rolling. Sometimes it's a humiliation you'll never shake. Other times, it's something darker. A transgression so twisted it's locked away on encrypted drives, waiting to be used as insurance. The message couldn't be clearer: stay loyal, or this becomes tomorrow's headline. No one admits it on record, but the trail of wrecked careers says enough. Artists vanish overnight, and skeptics can't ignore the pattern. Remember that R&B star whose debut album hit #1, only to get blackballed after firing the wrong manager? Or the comedian who hinted about party rituals, then suddenly became unbookable, branded unstable? We've watched rising talents retire before 30, only to ghostwrite in the shadows for prettier faces with weaker skills. Every year, another promising name fizzles, sometimes after nothing more than one business night with the wrong mogul.
I don't think they are scared of him. I think they more so, they don't want him to embarrass their reputation and things that they've been known for. You understand?
For every warning story, there's a full-blown tragedy. Artists who dared to question the system too loudly or refused to play along didn't just face setbacks. They became cautionary legends or cautionary losses. The list keeps getting longer, and it's no wonder the phrase industry sacrifice is now its own YouTube rabbit hole. Shakur wasn't the only one, and that's what makes it scarier.
It's always been like a little underlying competition there with your big brother there, and we both love and respect each other.
Plenty of stars have danced close to the truth, only to pull back at the last second. You can hear it if you listen carefully. A pop star's nervous laugh in an interview, a rapper's forced grin when someone mentions the club, or a veteran actor switching topics the moment mansion parties come up. The silence is so polished, it almost feels scripted. But it's not funny when you realize how many careers, families, and empires depend on everybody keeping quiet. One wrong word, one slip in public, and entire legacies can go up in flames. So who's really willing to risk it? That's why Ice Cube breaking ranks shook the ground like a bomb going off. I'm gonna go talk to everybody, he vowed. And suddenly insiders who once dismissed him are watching social media like hawks, waiting to see what shoe drops next. It's easy to laugh off rumors when they're buried in podcasts, but when a legend starts pointing fingers at Jay-Z and Diddy of all people, the whole thing feels real. Not because they're the only ones running the machine, but because if giants like them go down, the question is terrifying. Who's next?
Who own the labels, own private prisons.
The chilling part is how every big player, record labels, talent agencies, you name it, acts like it's just business as usual. But beneath the glossy surface, fear runs everywhere. And that's exactly how power stays hidden. When the richest, most famous people in the country refuse to say a word, you know the stakes are way bigger than anyone dares admit. Every time a lawsuit drops, Every time a superstar is accused, the walls seem to close in tighter. It's not even about guilt or innocence anymore. It's about keeping the machine alive, making sure no one ever lands a clean shot at the truth. And the rumors about Beyonce, about blackmail, about careers propped up by secret deals, those whispers aren't dying out. If anything, they're getting sharper and scarier every year. The Illuminati used to be a punchline for conspiracy buffs, but now, with leaked court documents, surveillance clips, and whistleblowers dropping receipts, even die-hard fans are starting to question what's really going on. Who decides who takes the Grammy spotlight, who buries scandals, pays settlements, and keeps the darkest stories buried? It's not PR firms. It's the same faces ruling red carpets, boardrooms, and executive suites. The ones whose loyalty gets rewarded while their enemies get erased.
Jay-Z got his whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. You got it. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
Look at Diddy. Raids, lawsuits, allegations that read like horror stories ripped from another dimension. That doesn't feel like a random fall from grace. It feels like a warning shot. Mess with the wrong people, and the system will chew you up alive. Meanwhile, Jay-Z keeps gliding through it all, flashing calm smiles for the cameras, never letting a single crack show. Nobody wants to be the next cautionary tale because the stakes are sky high. The industry has always thrived on secrets, but if Cube's right, this isn't just secrecy, it's organized chaos. A closed circuit of power, fear, and silent deals. The very machine that turns street poets into billionaires is the same one deciding which scandals explode and which get buried forever. That's why silence always wins, why careers survive or die depending on who's holding the mic. The gatekeepers aren't just running the show, they control the noise and the silence.
They laid the blueprint for me, and they're not here anymore. So I always want to make sure that, through me, through all of us.
So, if you're wondering why Ice Cube's warning shook the room, here's the answer. If even half the stories about humiliation, secret rituals, blackmail tapes, and life-destroying secrets are true, what chance does an outsider really have? This machine has been grinding for decades, and every time someone dares to pull back the curtain, the ending looks the same. A career chopped down, a legacy smeared, or worse, a body count nobody dares to question. The real question is, just how far will the industry go to protect itself?
So let's talk about it, man. So you feel like it was bigger than Orlando Shooter Pac. You feel like it's more to the story. You don't think it was that simple?
I feel like it's...
We've heard Ice Cube's warning. We've seen careers vanish. We've watched legends go silent. So what will it take for the truth to finally come out? Will another icon gamble everything to break the silence? Or will the cycle just keep repeating until the last secret is buried forever? Drop your wildest theories in the comments. Who do you believe is really pulling the strings in Hollywood? Are the Illuminati whispers just internet noise? Or have we all been distracted while the real power hides in plain sight? Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for more untold stories. And I'll see you on the next one.